What up? What up? Man, do we got a banger for you tonight? Man, gonna be a powerful one, man. For all the Father's Day, this one's for you. Get a moment here to get everything set up. Looks like everything's coming through nice. Yeah. We are live. Yeah. Did it. We're back. It's been a while, but we're back with another one. And another one. You know what I mean? Just like that. Yeah. Music brought to you by Latin Dream. I owe you for this one, man. Good looking out on the beat. Yeah. Good looking. So like I said, man, it's going to be a special Father's Day presentation. We're going to look at the father of scams. Where did all this start at? We're going to check that out. And also, I'm going to have another confrontation with Eric Thomas's beliefs, or one of his teachings, I'll say. We're going to break that down because we missed a big chunk of what he was talking about there. Not that he was lying, because he was definitely telling the truth. But, yeah, we're going to break that down. Shout out to PTMG. You know what I mean? Them guys is doing their thing, man. Them guys is working, man. Working. Steady working. Look out for them, man. You're going to see them all over YouTube, Facebook. Go check out Tough with the Stew. You got the Stew. Man, they may be going every day on that. But, man, check them out on that, man. They're bringing a lot of new music out. Putting a lot of information out as far as the industry. All of that, man. God's Chosen One, Secrets to Recovery. We were able to partner up. We did some powerful things, man. And shout out to those guys for sure. For sure. Salute to y'all. Yeah. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Here we go. Once again, bang. We in the building. Man, I was going to call this the OG fraudster, but I changed it up, man, because this is going to be a special Father's Day presentation. We a little early, but hey, we can celebrate Father's Day any day, right? So, shout out to y'all. Shout out to the dads out there doing y'all thing. And I just want to share before we get started, because, you know, sometimes whether you're a good dad or a bad dad, sometimes that's more a matter of perspective than anything. That's not always one or the other. And I have a powerful example of that. I hope my folks won't be upset with me sharing this, but you know, I'm not gonna say any names, but I mean, it's just it just goes to speak of how people can see the same person in a different way. And the situation that me and my brother and sister are in was like, my brother and sister are really my half brother and sister, and on my dad's side. So, you know, when he was married to their mom, you know, he had them. So then he met my mom, and he would eventually leave that situation to come raise me. And I got to, you know, live and grow up with my pops. And the blessing of that, I didn't realize until I was much older. But when you look at the other side of that, when you look at my brother and sister, you know, their perspective of that situation, of course, is going to be different than mine. You know, whereas I look at my dad as like he was the greatest ever. But of course, on their side, as you know, he was raising me. You know, they grew up without their dad. So that was a complex situation that we were in. But regardless, you know, God chooses a person for you to come into this world through. And that person isn't always perfect, but we have to be thankful in that that person, you know, and that we were selected to come to this world, even though it may have been not in the most desired, um, desirable conditions, situation. But so yeah, so I just want to set a shout out to all the dads, man. I know, you know, not everybody is looked at as maybe a good dad, but regardless, you know, you were chosen to bring life into this world, and not everybody uh, gets to experience that, myself included. So salute to y'all, and you know, this one's for you. So this one's gonna be the father of scams. You know, the scams that we see today originated from somewhere, and we're gonna break that down. So let me go ahead and switch over to the show. Let's get the show started. Bang. Okay. So if you were growing up around the time I was, then this is a familiar face right here. Old Mr. Rogers, you know. And of course, we all love Mr. Rogers and his message of, you know, that everyone was special, and you know, and just, you know, his way of uplifting children and encouraging them, and really us, really, because you know we all grew up watching Mr. Rogers and whatnot. Another part of his message was that, you know, you could be whatever you wanted to be. You know, if you um, get this going a little bit. If you that right there, you know, whatever you put your mind to, right? That's what you could do. And that's an encouraging message for children, you know, but I think it's turned into something that's maybe become a little harmful to children. And it's hard to tell kids that, you know, you're going to be limited. There's going to be things that you can't do. But in reality, that's the truth. That's the truth. So, let me see here. And I think that we should tell them that. You know, I don't think it should be a thing. But I understand where that comes from, because we want kids to want to, you know, pursue greatness and go after great. But see, the thing is I think they should be guided in that the things which they're good at, their strengths, and build those up. Because it's true, everything's pretty much possible. Like as a kid, you never know what they could grow up to be. And Mr. Rogers was you know, he was like at the forefront of that message. Now, if you grew up with me, you already know these two right here, straight legends in the game. And they were legends because they played two sports. You know what I'm saying? Just two. And because you have to, eventually, you're going to have to zero in on something to where it's your only focus. And the great people, the great ones, the exceptional ones, the outliers, they're the ones that are going to be able to focus on just two things. So when we look at, you know, hey, you could be anything. But what gets missed sometimes is you have to pick one thing. You know, that is sometimes what gets missed. But we see the greatness in somebody that can focus on just two things at that type of level. You know, and we need to, you know, teach these kids that there's something that they're good at. There's one thing, or maybe two things, maybe three things, but there's something that they have strengths and weaknesses in. And I think that should be more the focus when it comes to education, just in my opinion, because it's easy to tell a child you could be anything and just totally leave it up to them. But to me, that doesn't seem to be real effective. You know, they need to find what they're good at and zero in on that. Just in my opinion. Most kids are being told, hey, you can be anything. But there's something that they're good at. There's something that they're genetically wired for, I would even say. Take like a symphony, for example, right? Let's say you have a symphony, but take away the people playing the symphony and just have the instruments there. You will see that if you just heard the music based on what they had the potential of playing. But let's say then, let's say a trumpet there. Let's say they want to become a drum now. They want to be a drum now. And all the instruments decided they want to be something different than what they are. The music would sound horrible. The music would sound horrible. So my thing is like when people find what they're good at, what their strengths are, they make the best music, man. It makes the best music. Consider the trans debate. Now, I'm not, whatever your stance is on it, whether you think things are right or wrong, or my point's a little bigger than that. Actually, it's much bigger than that. My point is that we have a battle of somebody and people in our society that are fighting to be able to become something that they were not naturally born as. Maybe they feel that way inside. We all still are getting to understand these things, but regardless of what your stance is on it, it all is from the same family in that we're being told, well, just pick something. You just pick anything. And I think that we get sucked into that, and it metamorphoses and evolves into different things that then start to become harmful and start to become a means to divide us. Right? But it's all that, to me, it's all in the same family. This whole thing, it evolves into, we have this thing where just like you can be anything, now we have this thing of, well, anyone can be rich. Anyone can be wealthy. Right? And that has been propagated all over the internet, still to this day. And our young people are seeing this, and they're starting to say, well, hey, why do I got to go to college? Why do I got to go to work? When they're seeing these messages of, hey, you could just be rich too. If you just buy my course, if you just buy access into my mentorship program. You know who's a big champion of this? Your boy, like you saw on the title. That's right. Eric Thomas. He's one of the biggest promoters of this idea that anyone can have this. Anyone can do this. Anyone can do what I'm doing. But underneath it all, he's hiding a secret message that we're not seeing as people that just stumble across these videos. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Check this out. A lot of you saw the guru story, right? Where the guy was going to meet up with the guy at the beach, right? And he's holding him down, and he lets him up, and he asks him, watch this.
Question for you. Somebody answered the question for me. He said, when you were underwater, what did you want to do? Lee, I'm looking for a different word though than lip. What's that word? He said I wanted to breathe. He told the guy, he said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I don't know how many of y'all got asthma in here today, but if you ever had an asthma attack before, you short of breath, SOB, shortness of breath, you wheezing. The only thing you trying to do is get some air. You don't care about no basketball game. You don't care what's on TV. You don't care about nobody calling you. You don't care about a party.
All right, so I'm going to stop that right there. But it sounds good. It sounds good what he's saying. You know what I mean? Like if you can't breathe, right, and somebody's holding you down and you can't breathe, or you're drowning, or whatever the situation is, you can't breathe, right? He's right. Like if you're not going to be thinking about a basketball game or what somebody said about you or any of these trivial things. But that's where the deception lies. Because yeah, while that's true that you won't be thinking about those things, but he's telling you, if you want success in the ways that it's celebrated in society, if you want that, then you will have to want it as bad as you want to breathe. And he's not lying when he says that. But here's what he's leaving out. What he's leaving out is this. If you can't breathe, think about this. If you can't breathe, right, the only thing you want is that next breath. And that's the only thing. You may not be thinking about trivial things, but guess what? You're not thinking about anything. You're not thinking about anything else. And he's telling the truth. If you want success in the way that it's celebrated in society, if you want that kind of success, you will have to want it as bad as you want that next breath, meaning you want it more than you want anything. When you're in that situation and you can't breathe, you won't even think about your own children in that time. Because of the way our brains are wired, we're thinking straight survival. So you won't even think about your children, your family. You don't care about nothing else. There's nothing else that you care about in that time. Not just the trivial things. But you have to put everything else at a distant second if you want to chase the success that he's talking about. And he was telling the truth. He was telling the truth at that. How do we know this? Check this out. Turn that off real quick. How do we know this, that he's telling the truth? Because when you look at people that we consider great, think of somebody like Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, right? Jeff Bezos. These guys, great, at the top of the mountain. That's who we think of. But the thing is those guys, they want it as bad as they want to breathe, meaning they don't care about nothing else. That's why you have this. That's why you have this right here. Because he wanted to be a champion football player as bad as he wanted to breathe. Meaning he don't care about his wife. He don't care about his children. That all comes second. When it's playoff time, you got to sit down. Don't even call me. Don't even talk to me. And in the end, what happens? Divorce. Divorce. It ain't what it's cracked up to be. But he was true. He wanted it like he wanted that next breath. Which means more than he wanted his family. So the wife, she packed up and left. Your boy, Sir Air. They got the movie playing right now about the big shoe deal, right? Michael Jordan for sure wanted success as bad as he wanted to breathe, without question. But at what cost? At what cost? At the one that was with you from the beginning. Your own children. We have this whole situation with his son and Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. And I bet you that's a revenge play. Remember when you left me sitting, Dad? Remember when everybody loved you? We were cheering for Michael Jordan. Everybody wanted to be like Mike, but the kids were left by themselves because he wanted it as bad as he wanted to breathe. These are the ones that get celebrated. Check this out. Same thing. It's the same thing. It goes all the way across the board. They wanted it as bad as they wanted to breathe. So that means everything else in their life, everything else that they said they loved, they didn't want it. They didn't want that as bad as they wanted to breathe. But salute to the fathers out there that want to be with their kids as bad as they want to breathe. That want to be with their families as bad as they want to breathe. Salute to y'all. Y'all should be celebrated. Y'all should be celebrated. Not this guy. Not these guys that they chase wealth and riches and leave everybody else hanging in the dust. I messed up. I missed a. Okay, hold on, let me try this real quick. Check this out. I gotta bring this in. Speaking of Eric Thomas, at one point in time. Hold on a second. Oops. At one point in time, Eric Thomas had some trouble. Check this out. See if I can pull this up real quick. I must not have downloaded that. I'm tripping. Give me 1 second. Bear with me. I gotta show you this because these are the things that we miss when we're listening to these messages. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Bang, bang. Just sending this over real quick so I can pull this up on screen. Watch this. Watch this. This is the reality of all of this chasing, as bad as you want to breathe. Watch this. Bang. Okay. This. And I am unprepared today. Not right. Not right. Okay, let me put this on here. You gotta see this, man. This is. Alright. Bang. Okay. Watch this right here.
Bro, I'm talking from experience, bro. My sophomore year in college, doing my thing, traveling the road, not listening to my wife. She packed up and came back to the D and said, I'm through. I said, all right, you might be. No, bro.
All right, so you see right there, he's out there chasing that. Wife gets tired of it. The wife gets tired of it, right? And so you see this time and time again, right? And so, but what we gotta look at is where does all this come from? See, these guys are following a specific playbook that was invented by this guy. Watch this. It was invented by this guy. Bang. Bang. Right there. This is the father of scams. Everything that we got hit with over the pandemic, with all these courses and crypto and academies and universities and blah, 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 which Eric Thomas has a university, by the way. Is it accredited? Can you get a degree there? Big scam, man. But we'll get more into the whole university scam thing. I got some more on that. But so this right here, this is your boy Jeff Bezos. I mean, I'm sorry, Jeff. No. This is your boy Napoleon Hill. right? And a lot of you may know the name, but if you don't know the name, you will hear in a minute. Let me see here real quick. Okay. So if you don't know the name, you will hear in a minute. So Napoleon Hill. Now watch this. Now I know you've heard of these right here. Bang. These joints right here, I call these the scam Bibles, right? If you want to be a scam artist, read these books right here. You know what I'm saying? These is what they use to get us, to separate us from our hard-earned money. And they do it, they give us these books and tell us, this is what the rich read. These are the secrets that the rich, they're not telling you about. It's a lie. Think and Grow Rich. I remember all throughout the pandemic, you heard people talking about this book right here. But the mistake was that they read the book. They didn't look into the man that wrote the book. And from this book here, this philosophy is what gave birth to this secret garbage, which is a complete garbage scam book scam. It is. If you think that you're going to get rich by reading any one of these books here, you are severely mistaken, and you have been sold by this entrepreneur heavy mindset that we have spreading out. It's like a cancer. It's gonna destroy a lot of people's lives, this teaching right here. And this was all brought to you by your boy Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill. Now listen to this. This was Napoleon. Now let me give you a quick rundown, just in case you didn't run across this. I'm sure you ran across this. This was all over. If you were watching YouTube, you heard about this scam book. So the story is this. Napoleon Hill is supposedly a poor, average, everyday. He's a writer, but he's a nobody, no name writer, right? Then in steps Andrew Carnegie. Now, who's Andrew Carnegie? Which you're gonna hear in a second. But Andrew Carnegie was the Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. He was all of that back in that day. He was the billionaire when being a billionaire back then was like you had $1 trillion probably, because just the way the prices on everything. So Andrew Carnegie reaches out to Napoleon Hill out of the kindness of his heart, and just imparts all this wisdom on him and basically becomes his mentor, right? And in doing that, he begins to uncover this secret knowledge that the rich have, that anyone could be rich if you just wanted it bad enough. Man, they got us, man. They got me too. I fell for it too. Don't be upset. We all got played by this. There's people still on my Facebook timeline talking about buy my course, buy my mentorship. And if you made $1 off of that, you owe it to this man right here. Napoleon Hill is your prophet, because he gave birth to all of this. Watch this. Listen to this.
Napoleon Hill repeats the same story.
When I first heard Andrew Carnegie describe this natural law, which makes it possible for you and I and everyone else to write his own price tag in life and attain it, my search led me to the study of the spiritual forces with which all of us are blessed. And it was in this field that I came upon it and attain it while I was being coached by Andrew Carnegie during the organization of the Science of Success philosophy. I had just finished telling Mr. Carnegie that I feared he had chosen the wrong person to give the world the first practical philosophy of personal success because of my youth, my lack of education, and my lack of finances.
Okay, so you hear him talking about how there's this knowledge and this science of being able to get whatever you want. And it was all a scam, man. I'm about to prove it. I'm about to prove it to you. So, let's see here. So you have this Think and Grow Rich story. So this is what he's saying. Hold on a second. This is what he's selling to people. And a lot of us still buy it today. That's what's it's crazy because it's like he's a scumbag, but at the same time, he's a genius. Man, because this still lives on today. Everything that we see today, as far as scam-wise, this guy gave birth to the whole thing. Now check this out. So like I said, you have the rich guy, out of the kindness of his heart, he's gonna reach down and hold on a second. Oh, okay, yeah. So he's gonna reach down and help this guy. Just because something to do, which, of course, that's what rich people do all the time. They just reach out and, they'll grab you, change your life. Yeah, right. Now, the whole story is a lie. And how do we know this? I want you to go check out. You got to go check out. I'm going to try to get this in the description if I can, but if not, you got to go check out CoffeeZilla. Okay? CoffeeZilla. Coffee, Zilla. Type that into your YouTube search bar and then also type in Napoleon Hill. And watch his breakdown of that, because he starts pulling out receipts, everything. He'll be able to show you all this. But for one, he would often say that they would have Napoleon Hill and Andrew Carnegie. So Andrew Carnegie is the rich guy. Napoleon Hill supposedly the poor, struggling writer. Napoleon Hill would say that they would have these meetings, that they would get together, they would have these talks, blah, blah, blah. But if you look at it, Andrew Carnegie's biographer said that these meetings, there's no evidence of these meetings ever taking place. There's not a note, there's not a record, nothing. And this was the biographer. This was the one entrusted to tell Andrew Carnegie's story. Excuse me. So there's no proof of this. Andrew Carnegie's biographer denies it. Then he would say, Napoleon Hill would say that there were these letters that they would write back and forth. But what happened to the letters? Oops, they burned up in a fire. All of them. Not one of them survived, unfortunately, so there's no way to verify any of it. And of course, again, the biographer, there's no record of any letters, any writings, anything. And another little note, Napoleon Hill never shared this story until after Andrew Carnegie died. He never once said this in public to anybody. He never shared this with anyone until after he was already resting in peace. Now, his biggest claim was that Andrew Carnegie believed that in this law of attraction, that anyone could be rich, right? This is what he was saying, Think and Grow Rich, that, Andrew Carnegie believed this and he just needed to tell somebody. But here's where he messed up at, which he didn't mess up because at the time there was no internet. So he didn't mess up, but the thing was that eventually we would find out the nonsense of this because Andrew Carnegie wrote books too. Right? He wrote books too. And in his writings, he specifically said that to be rich, it took a rare set of qualities, a rare set of attributes. that only certain people would possess. Only certain people could look at their children and say, I'm going to put you second to chasing my dream. There's only certain people that could do that. It's a rare thing. The average, we don't do that. But he said that Andrew Carnegie believed this, but in his own writings, he never said anything like that. And he understood what it meant that he was rich. And rich folks also understood that if everybody was rich, it would take away from the value of them being rich. So it's like you can't give everybody $1 million. That's why this whole reparation thing is going to be dead in the water. So things are rare. If everyone could ball like Michael Jordan, then Michael Jordan wouldn't be so special. But the truth is not everyone can do it. He's given something. Napoleon Hill claimed that he mentored presidents, and there's no evidence of this. He claimed that he invented the phrase, there is nothing to fear except fear itself. Now, and we know that's a lie. Now, what about the whole college thing? The university scam, the academy scam, join my academy, join my university. What about that? Napoleon Hill was the originator. He would set up the Automobile College of Washington, where it promised to be the best school where you could learn, because at the time, cars were just becoming a thing. It was just becoming a household thing. So the scam was, we're going to bring you into this school, and we're going to show you how to work on these cars. You're going to get rich. You're going to be able to go and work for these dealerships, top dollar. But really what they were doing was you would go and intern for these dealerships, and you would work for free for these automotive companies and people that were building these cars. You would go and work for free, and you would pay for the honor to do it. Where else do we see that today? Look at Donald Trump and his Trump University, which he'd end up getting sued and have to pay a big multi-million-dollar settlement to straighten that out. This Automobile College of Washington, it even had an MLM component to it, where you would go and recruit others to come in with you. And lastly, you know, Napoleon Hill, he finally went to prison for scamming. So they finally caught up with him at some point. But so that's your Napoleon Hill. That's the guy that everybody's reading this book, thinking that these are what rich people use to gain wealth. But in reality, these are the secrets of rich people to scam us. To scam us. Because and the reason we fall for this stuff is because we've been given this idea that being average is a bad thing. Being in the middle, just being normal, you know, just raising kids, and you know, maybe you're not going to be rich. Maybe you're not going to be. We've been told that that's a bad place to be. But the truth is that the average people, the people, everyday working people, are the most sought out group in the world. Any business, any entrepreneurship endeavor, any idea, anything for it to be successful must have the support of the average. Think about it. When people decide, hey, I'm going to go and start my own business and I'm not going to work for somebody else. But in order for that business to be successful, it relies on the people that work for their money in the hopes that we'll give a little bit to them. The average is the most sought out after group. But we're told that there's something wrong with that. So we have everybody trying to be falling for these scams, falling for these get rich quick type of things. You see it all up and down my timeline. People inviting me to Pampered Chef parties. You see it. You see it. There's nothing wrong with being average, being regular. They need us. The rich, the people in power, they need us. So they put a lot of time into keeping us divided and keeping us manipulated. Every company has a psychology department and statistics department. They use that information to manipulate us because they need us. If it was just honest, ethical advertising with no scam, no exaggerating, no leaving nothing out, we wouldn't support most of these companies, but they know how to target us. Which the most evil form of that we saw was in the opioid crisis. So anybody out there scamming and all that, trust, you owe a great debt to Napoleon Hill, without question. But as far as the whole being average thing, right? Check this out. Let me jump back over here real quick. Because as far as the whole being average thing, and you have people that they think they want to be in the spotlight. You think you want that life. But when you really study it, you'll see that most of the people that have that life, they realize it's not really all it's cracked up to be. Check this out. I don't know if you saw this story. So you got this young lady right here. She works at Home Depot. She posted a picture of herself saying, a job that, something along the lines of a job that they say I'm too pretty to work at or something like that. And she posted the picture. Now keep in mind, take notice that she don't have her butt out. She don't have her breasts out. She's not twerking. You know, just standing there, regular lady, average lady. I mean, she's pretty, but I mean, she's an average lady. She's working a, average job, respectable job, but just a regular job, taking care of her folks, I'm sure. She posts this picture, and this picture goes viral, and it's everywhere, and people are starting to comment and say, hey, why don't you start an OnlyFans? Why don't you start doing some of the ratchet stuff and get, take advantage of this wave you're in? She's posting videos, like if you go to her TikTok, she's posting videos like saying Bible verses and stuff like that. And she started getting bashed because she don't want to go the debauchery route. It got so bad that they started putting her address and where she worked at online for everybody to see. People were showing up at her job. Check this out. Oops, sorry about that. Check this out.
The Home Depot girl, the girl who went viral, and just talk about how God is really testing my life right now and just testing my faith and trying to keep my patience in Him and just trust that there's a bigger thing coming out of all this. Since I blew up on the internet, I have had so much backlash, good and bad. Like, it's been a lot of good, but you also have that percentage of bad. Like, everybody on Twitter hates me for what? I don't know. Like, I literally don't know, just because I stood up for myself, and that's fine. And then Instagram's really cool. And then, other situations that have happened throughout this whole process that have just kind of been crazy. But I literally had to kind of quit my job in this process because of how much.
So she basically is saying, she actually goes on to say that she starts talking about how they started putting her address out there where she worked at. They found out where she worked at. And here's the thing. People think they want this life. You think you want that? That's what it's going to be. Like, you have Kim Kardashian on TV crying about how, they won't stop taking pictures of my children. Wah, wah. But this is what you wanted. That's what comes with the fame. Come on, man. That's what comes with it. And I just don't get how people put their kids in this and everything. And for you rappers out there, I want you to think about this. I got a lot of people that want to rap. For you rappers out there, I want you to study it, man. Study it. Take some time and study this one thing. Study how many people, out of all the people that want to rap, how many people are that come out the other side in good standing. Like you might look at somebody like Jay-Z and say, hey, he made it out, he did, you know, LL Cool. Maybe you might look at some of these people. But when you really study it and you look at the whole number of the whole population of people that want to rap and people that have rap, most people do not make it out of that industry in good standing. You know, look at Pac, look at Big, look at, I mean, the list goes on. Look at all these people that we lost to that music game. They're getting ready to run a special. I believe it came on tonight, but it's coming on. It's the special about Aaliyah. And they're going to show how, which is probably going to be cleaned up a little bit, but they're going to show how she was abused by the industry. Abused by the industry. Young girl, immense talent. Abused by the industry. And in the end, she would lose her life. And the only thing that remains is the character, the image that they created through her music. But had she just been a regular, average person, working a job, paying bills, she might still be alive today. Look at Kanye West's mom. Look at Jackie O. Right? She got to go get that surgery because the world is telling our women they don't look good enough. Right? And so they go and put their whole life on the line to get these surgeries just to die. But here's the thing. For those of us that can't afford the surgeries, because we're average, we were the ones that live on. And we live on and look back and think, man, that what a shame. What a shame that she had to die like that. So, I'm going to close it right there. I appreciate y'all tuning in. We got another one. We did another one. Hold on a second. What happened here? Oops, hold up. Bang. We did another one, man. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to y'all, man. Salute to the fathers, man. Salute to the regular fathers. Salute to the ones really putting in that work, man. Salute to y'all, man. And happy Father's Day. Secrets to Recovery. To y'all, I'm Warren Garrett, your gracious host. We out.